time for a well-earned break for the divers. Free diving is exhausting. They have to be careful to conserve their energy for the other dives planned later that day. There's fresh hope that the weather might clear up in time for their dive at midday. Midday. Temperatures have risen to their daily maximum, and it's not just land animals that are having a rest. Below water, the pace of life is also changing. The sun is of the utmost importance for the reef. As the corals grow, they need light to accomplish this feat of engineering. Reefs are essentially like metropolises of the sea. Their builders and architects are tiny coral polyps that live off plankton floating in the water. But they tend to live in nutrient-poor waters and have recruited the help of tiny algae to survive. These microscopic plants have colonized their tissues, and by turning sunlight into sugars, supply about 90% of the coral polyp's nutrient requirements. That's why the reefs grow towards the sun. They can only live in shallow waters, full of light. The algae also give them their vibrant coloration. Around 2 million single-celled algae crowd every square centimeter of coral stem. The industrious coral polyps and their algae provide a haven for thousands of other species. Coral reefs are home to a staggering 25% of all marine life and form nurseries for many oceanic fish. But this fruitful arrangement comes at a price. The algae cannot thrive in waters that are too warm or too cold. Many fish are now having a rest. They congregate in dense shoals at the reef, trying to protect themselves from attackers. The sheer diversity of shapes and colors found among the creatures of this coral reef is breathtaking. 4 o'clock in the afternoon. Clouds begin to darken the sky once again. Filmer des animaux, c'est toujours... It's never easy to film animals. C'est difficile parce que we have to pay attention to a lot of things. The weather, the animals, c'est le temps. But there are a lot of things we can't plan ahead. Including if there'll be any animals. If this is their season anymore, the weather is always important, but ils sont pas là. At the moment, there's a tropical storm. Et puis le temps. It's been raining for 3 days now, and the wind is really strong. Et depuis 3 jours, il pleut. It's raining around the atoll and the lagoon. And the rainwater's draining into the lagoon, which means the visibility in the water is not good. All of these factors combined make our work very difficult. But today luck is on their side. The weather improves again, and the team can start another dive. They want to check out a number of locations in the reef channel to see which animals are active here. A detailed briefing before every dive is extremely important. The divers have to take note of the currents, which shift their direction and strength throughout the day. A strong current also saps a lot of energy, which in turn means higher oxygen consumption. For free divers, this is especially important, since it can seriously compromise their safety. Free divers can quickly get into the water without much preparation, check out the situation, and return to the boat. They should be able to get a good all-round impression of life in the channel. At dusk, Fred wants to observe the reef sharks. The channel is extremely busy. These green chromies are on their way to spawn en masse. Gray reef sharks rest and sleep in a large shoal. They're waiting for nightfall to patrol the reef in search of prey once again. Until then, they rest, suspended by the current in the channel. Sharks don't have swim bladders, so without actively swimming, they sink. But the water currents in the channel help suspend them without much effort on their part. Another dive, and the team come across white-tip reef sharks. Fred and Will are able to approach them without spooking the animals in the slightest. These sharks are very different, able to lie on the channel bed to rest because they can actively pump water through their gills to breathe. Other types of shark have to keep swimming to get enough water through their gills. Then one of the largest animals in the ocean makes an appearance. Manta rays can grow to have a wingspan of over 7 meters. This gentle giant is now in full feeding mode. Despite their size, they feed on some of the smallest animals in the sea. In the twilight of the fading day, many larvae drift in from the open sea to get into the lagoon. Ideal feeding conditions for the manta rays, which can each filter as much as 140 kilos of plankton from the water every single day. Fred and Will return to the boat to wait for the sun to set. That's when some types of surgeonfish begin to spawn. The divers take a look around the exit of the reef channel. The noise generated by the reef creatures is constant and accompanies the divers on their excursions. With the changing light conditions on the reef, a different set of fish emerge from their daytime hideouts. These white-spotted surgeonfish have come here from the upper part of the reef to spawn. This is where Fred is waiting, calmly and noiselessly. A spawning frenzy ensues. The females swim upwards and expel a cloud of eggs. The males follow quickly to fertilize them. In the twilight, white-cheeked surgeonfish show off their elaborate mating dance. Filefish, too, have gathered to spawn. The last light slowly fades away. Night approaches, and with it, the time of the hunters. There is a changing of the guards at the reef. The fish shoals that gathered to rest and seek protection from daytime hunters are now ready to turn stalkers themselves. Time for day-active animals to seek suitable hideouts. If you want to survive the night, it pays to find a way of making yourself invisible to the night stalkers. The divers prepare for their last dive of the day, an expedition right into the heart of the nighttime reef for Fakarava. Question Péton explains some of the extraordinary ways fish try to outwit their nemesis. Regardez certaines espèces comme le perroquet. Certain types of fish